make my ass hurt. Yeah, I don't mind it all. No, I don't mind it all. No, I don't mind it all. Where I land. Drive a real fast car. I'm gonna live in Beverly Hills. I'm gonna swallow alcohol with my pills. I like sex, so tell me what the hell is wrong. Don't mind it all. No, I don't mind it all. No, I don't mind it all. Where I am, don't mind it all. No, I don't mind it all. No, I don't mind it all. Where I
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Welcome back to the Bob Sullivan Show here on latenightsportsradio.com. I'd like to thank Seth Klein and Alex Smith for joining me in hours 1 and 2, respectively. I don't get to use that word very often. But I'm back with headlines with Keith Grieve, the producer. Keith, how are you doing?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I know. Your Lakers are hanging with the Cavs. How are you feeling about that?
Well, like I just said, it would have felt a lot better if you would have told me this in November. But here in January, seeing what an absolute tire fire the Cavaliers have turned into, it's not really all that impressive.
Yeah, we're back to the dumpster fires that we were talking about.
So while we're on the subject of the Lakers, and you know how I hate to talk about the Lakers, so Byron Scott's got this 32-minute hard cap rule with Kobe Bryant. Do you think that's the dumbest thing ever?
Yeah, what are you saving him for, is my question.
Well, that deep run in the play? I couldn't even say it with a straight
run
face.
in the play. It's just play him. Let him get Kareem's record. Just let him play, and further the Twitter talk of who's better, Kobe or LeBron. Let's just keep that going for another 6 months that we have left here. I'm going to say, who cares? I don't understand what Byron Scott's doing, and I don't think that Kobe set that mark for himself, and if he did, I don't know what he's doing.
He's old, and when you start looking forward to rest as much as you do playing, maybe it's time to quit.
Yeah, maybe he has another documentary we don't know about that's coming out. That's why he needs the, 18 minutes off or whatever it is?
Yeah, something like that. So like this game is a perfect example. So let's say you're tied with the Cavaliers and you go into overtime and Kobe's at 30, 31 minutes or even 32 minutes. You sit him for overtime? That's the dumbest thing ever.
You have to. You got to save him for the playoffs.
That's the dumbest thing ever. Win the game.
Yeah, unless maybe Byron Scott didn't call for this. Maybe it's cup check so that Kobe doesn't get overly competitive and they win games that they shouldn't. so that they can get a higher draft pick.
At
Maybe that's who's calling the shots here, Jim Buss.
At this point, fire them all.
I'd agree. I like Byron Scott. I don't think he's the greatest coach in the world, but I don't think I like to think that Byron Scott didn't set this rule.
Yeah. I don't mind Byron Scott as a coach. I just the front office. This franchise is in disarray, all stemming back to the freaking Dwight Howard trade. But anyway, we could talk another half an hour on the Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay, so now according to Chris Broussard, ESPN, the magazine, the Brooklyn Nets, Charlotte Hornets, and Oklahoma City Thunder are involved in the discussions about a three-way trade that would send Brooklyn playground legend Lance Stevenson to his hometown team. Brooke Lopez would go to Oklahoma City, and the Hornets would receive Jarrett Jack from Brooklyn and Jeremy Lamb from Oklahoma City. So my question to you is, does Charlotte know what the hell they're doing in the NBA?
Well, they're starting to get into the mix in the Eastern Conference. That doesn't mean much, but I think I feel like they made a smart. They thought they were making a smart move with getting Lance Stevenson, and I don't think that anybody really thought that was a dumb move at the time. Because they didn't think he was going to cause as many problems as he has. It was kind of a $9 million risk, which I think you can take in the NBA.
The mere fact that you just said a 15 and 25 team is getting in the mix in the East is just a sign of how bad the East is.
Oh yeah. What are they, like 2-3 games out of the 8 seed or something?
They're a game and a half out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, and the sad thing is you look at like Orlando, who I've been creaming over for, since the off season, they're not that far out of it either, and they've had a terrible month of basketball. I'd say, with Charlotte, the best move is just get rid of Lance Stevenson and take back whatever you can, and I think they'll probably make a 7 seed in the East. And all of a sudden, you look at Oklahoma City. I mean, they're not pick up Brooke Lopez and Deion Waiters, and they haven't really given up much. They look like as long as they can make the playoffs, I bet they could knock off the 1 seed if they get in.
All right, the San Francisco 49ers have introduced Jim Tomsula as their 19th head coach in a news conference that lasted over an hour today. How long will it take the 49ers to undo the damage they've done in the last 3 weeks?
They fired everybody, too. Didn't they? Mm-hmm. Off their staff, except for him and one other person, I think.
Fangio's gone. Roman's gone. Obviously, Harbaugh's gone. Everybody's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It makes you. And by the way, the other thing is, who the hell is Tom Sulu or whatever his name is?
He's the defensive line.
I don't know who he is. Never heard of him. And an hour-plus press conference. Did Al Davis buy the 49ers, and I wasn't aware of it?
No, and he has not resurrected himself from the dead, too, in case you were wondering.
I wish he would.
For the Giants, good news for Giants fans. Steve Spagnuolo is their new defensive coordinator. He was also their old defensive coordinator the time that they won Super Bowl 42. Do the Giants return back to form next year?
I still say it's one more year, but I like bringing back Spagnuolo. Great defensive coordinator. They wouldn't have won their first Super Bowl without him. And, he's kind of that, it shouldn't be a head coach, too positive to be a head coach, but a great assistant to have. And, Perry Fewell did an all right job for a couple years, but they needed somebody back as defensive coordinator. Spagnuolo is a good fit. And I think it's going to be a mediocre year next year. The following year, they're going to win the Super Bowl. You heard it here.
There's your brazen prediction for the night. Who says Wild Turkey ain't flowing over there?
Exactly.
Major League Baseball is going to try a pitch clock in the minors. Do you like it or do you hate it?
I love it because baseball. Actually, they don't even need a pitch clock with any other game other than the Yankees and Red Sox. God, Yankees Red Sox is like a 5-hour, 9-inning game. By the end of it, if you're not through a bottle of Wild Turkey or put a bullet through your head, I don't know what you've done with your 5 hours. It's terrible. It's terrible television, and ESPN's overrating the rivalry right now. It was great back in the early 2000s. It's all but boring right now.
Well, in all fairness, as a Mets fan, David Wright steps out of the box and does his little thing with his, batting gloves every time. It's not as bad as Nomar's routine, but it's a little bit on both sides, batter and the pitcher.
Yeah, I'd say, well, when it really became an issue was during the Yankees-Red Sox when Josh Beckett was pitching, and nobody on base, and he took like a minute and a half to deliver a pitch to home plate. Come on. I mean, I coach high school baseball, I'm not a big fan of Major League Baseball, but come on. Can we eliminate the boredom of baseball, please?
Yeah, it's definitely you've got a problem when your game is more fun in person and totally unwatchable at home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and when 90% of the commercials are Viagra commercials.
I didn't have a going problem. Wait, that's a prostate commercial.
Yeah, once they start talking about blood flow, that's when I have to check out of the game.
Yeah, that was a prostate problem. That wasn't the other end. Anyway.
Yeah, you mixed them up. But I agree. Yeah, the prostate problem commercials need to go too.
Apparently, Bud Selig was emotional in his final owners meeting. What is Bud Selig's legacy?
He's a guy that, made a lot of money for baseball, but isn't willing to admit that steroids also made baseball great. You're not going to let these guys like Sosa and Sosa, he was completely made by steroids. But you look at a guy like Roger Clemens, you look at a guy like Barry Bonds, you look at a guy like Mark McGwire. Newsflash, Cal Ripken did not bring fans back to baseball. That is the biggest load of crap ever. The home run chase in '98 brought fans back to baseball because these guys that were made like cartoonishly big from steroids, hitting home runs out of the ballpark, brought fans back to baseball, made it far more entertaining. And then Bud Selig, won't admit that that's what brought fans back. And then he all of a sudden takes a huge stance on steroids. He's a coward, and he's a jerk, and I hate him and for taking steroids out of Major League Baseball. I don't think steroids should be in high school or college, but in Major League Baseball, those are grown adults. They should be allowed to take steroids and make baseball as entertaining as possible.
And let's see.
Is that a fair assessment?
Oh yeah, no, that's your opinion.
Well, okay, but let me bring this up.
You only got about a minute left, just for the record.
Okay, but McGwire, when that reporter saw Andro in McGwire's locker, then he got cast off as like some jerk for reporting that McGwire had Andro in his locker. And now the same people that were casting off that writer are not voting McGwire into the Hall of Fame. How stupid is that? Right.
No, it's they don't care. I mean,
I'm getting off on the writers, but Selig is to blame too. He's a loser.
Yeah, he created the culture.
Selig, you're welcome on the show anytime.
He's got time on his hands,
But again, I'd like to thank Alex Smith, Seth Klein, and especially Keith Grieve for producing the show tonight. Well, Alex and Seth, thanks for being guests. Keith for being the producer, and we will see you again Sunday night here on the Bob Sullivan Show on LateNightSportsRadio.com.